A lot of times when people ask me a question about their horses, my response to them is, how's your groundwork? And when I ask, how's your groundwork, that is not asking how obedient is your horse. That's not asking how much will your horse stand still while you wave plastic bags around them. How's your groundwork is mostly how is your horse's emotional regulation? How is your horse's emotional regulation around humans? Because those two things are probably the big things that if those aren't working, those things will get in the way of all other endeavors people are trying to do with their horses. And so in the groundwork, one of the things that I require horses to be able to do in groundwork is to go from relaxed to responsive and back to relaxed again. And if they can do that, so the responsive has to do with whatever groundwork you're asking them to do, they need to be able to do it with some energy and some clarity off of subtle suggestions from the person. So there's a level of responsiveness there, but then they've also got to be able to let that go and just come back in and relax and pretend it never happened. And relaxed is relaxed, not relaxed doesn't mean stand still. You know, a lot of times horses can very easily be very responsive to things, and then when they stop, they're expressionless, like their ears are internally fixated, their eyes aren't blinking, they're kind of holding their breath. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a horse going from relaxed to responsive, and then they're responsive very easily, and then when you bring them back in, they can just stop and they'll have a big old lick and a chew and a sigh. And you know, those little things like that make up, you know, I had someone ask me today about a horse who was scared of tractors, and you know, what do you do with how do you get a horse used to tractors? And I said, well, your problem is probably not a tractor problem, it's probably an emotional regulation problem. And I said, how's your groundwork? And her response was something like, well, she stands really still while I brush her. You know, that is not, when I say how's your groundwork, I'm not asking how, like I said, does your horse stand still? When you wave plastic bags, when you brush them, any of those sorts of things. It's more about how well regulated is your horse's nervous system.